All right, let's jump right in. We're going to unpack this incredible ancient story that deals with a question, well, a question we all struggle with, right? Is telling the truth always so black and white? This is all about the real weight of our words, and it kicks off with a massive moral dilemma.
Okay, so this ancient proverb, it just sets the stage perfectly. It's saying, yeah, speak the truth and be pleasant about it. But don't say something that's true if it's just going to be cruel. This introduces something called a Dharma Sanka, which is, a huge moral crossroads where there's no easy right answer. Every choice has a price. It's basically asking us to think, hey, maybe truth is more complicated than just spitting out the facts.
Is a white lie ever okay? I mean, that feels like a question for right now, doesn't it? But believe it or not, a legendary story from this epic war, the Kurukshetra War, gives us this just fascinating and super complex take on this very human problem.
So to really get this, we need to talk about a guy named Yudhishthira. Now, this wasn't just some honest dude. His commitment to the truth was so absolute that it literally seemed to defy the laws of physics.
Okay, so picture this. It's day 15 of this massive, brutal war. The Pandavas, one of the warring sides, have a huge problem. And that problem's name is Guru Drona. He's an unstoppable master archer. As long as he's on the battlefield with his bow, there's just no way they can win. The stakes are, well, they're impossibly high.
So in comes Krishna. He's the master strategist, right? And he knows that to take down a warrior like Drona, you don't just fight him head-on. No, you have to break his spirit. And Drona had one single solitary weakness, his son, Ashwathama. He loved that kid more than anything.
And that's where things get really interesting. This realization leads to a plan. A really controversial, high-stakes plan that's going to push the limits of what truth and honor even mean.
The plan was, well, it was brilliant, but also kind of shady. A 3-step gambit. Step 1, they kill an elephant that, by pure chance, is also named Ashwathama. Step 2, they start shouting the news across the battlefield to cause confusion. But step 3, that was the key. They had to get the one person Drona would believe, no questions asked, to confirm it.
And who is that person? You guessed it, Yudhishthira. He was known as a Satyavadi, basically Mr. Truth. His integrity was so pure, so powerful, that his chariot literally floated 4 inches off the ground. Think about that. It was a physical sign that he was above all the mud and lies of the world.
So Drona hears the rumors, he's in a total panic, and he runs to Yudhishthira. Is it true? Is my son dead? And now Yudhishthira is completely trapped. So he says these very famous, very carefully chosen words. He says, Ashwathama is dead, and then he mumbles the last part, whether man or elephant. I mean, technically he's not lying.
But right at that exact second, and this is the crucial part, Krishna blows his conch shell. And the sound is so loud, it completely wipes out the end of that sentence. The part about or elephant, gone. All Drona hears is Ashwathama is dead. The worst news he could possibly imagine.
And just like that, Drona is heartbroken. He drops his weapons, and he's killed. The tide of the war has turned. But for Yudhishthira, the price for that half-truth, for that technically true statement that was meant to deceive, well, the consequence was instant, and it was huge.
Just remember, this is the guy whose chariot floated. His entire life, his pure honesty, had literally kept him above it all.
And in the very instant he says those words, that half-truth, it's over. The magic is gone. With a heavy thud, his chariot hits the ground. He's now stuck in the mud, in the moral gray area, just like everybody else.
So why? Why did that happen? What is this whole story trying to tell us about truth? Well, it kind of forces you to wonder, maybe there's more than just one kind of truth out there.
And this is where we see the two ideas clash. On one hand, you've got absolute truth. It's just the facts, cold and hard. Think of it like an auditor, just checking the numbers, no feelings involved. But on the other hand, you have what Krishna was all about, Hit-Satya, or benevolent truth. This kind of truth is compassionate. It's not an auditor. It's more like a soothing balm for someone who's hurt.
See, for Krishna, truth wasn't just about the words you say. It was all about the why behind them, the intention. He believed that a statement made to protect good people, to stop a destructive war, and to bring peace, well, that was a higher truth than just stating a fact that would lead to more chaos.
Okay, so this is all a great old story, but how does any of this apply to us today? What's really cool is how this ancient idea connects directly to our own lives, our own internal struggles.
Think about it. We do this to ourselves all the time, right? We act like our own internal auditors, just judging ourselves against cold, hard logic. Did I do this perfectly? Was that the right thing? But sometimes, when you're anxious or feeling down, your soul doesn't need an audit. It needs comfort. It needs a soothe. A kind, benevolent truth can be that safety net, but a harsh, technically correct truth, that can just push you over the edge.
So here's the real takeaway. The story of Yudhishthira's chariot falling to the earth, it's not really about telling a lie. It's about the incredible weight our words carry. And it suggests that maybe, just maybe, the highest and most important truth of all is the one that comes from a place of compassion.
Look, this ancient story doesn't really hand us a simple answer on a platter. It wouldn't be a dilemma if it did, right? Instead, it leaves us with this really powerful question to think about in our own lives. When is the gravity of the truth actually worth its weight?